welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna have a little bit of a different kind of video. As you know, I recently went on a hiking trip to Havasupai Falls in Arizona. I'll insert some pictures here. And it was the absolutely most amazing hike I ever did, and I kind of wanted to make a video today all about it, talking about my expectations before it, what we packed, how we got the reservations, everything that we bought to prepare for it, and some tips and tricks for new hikers on what to pack and what to expect as well. So I'm going to insert some timestamps here, so if you don't want to watch the whole video, because I think this is going to be kind of a longer video, you can kind of skip around the video to the section that you want to hear about. Alright, so let's get started. Okay, so first, a little bit of a background story, or my expectations of this trip. So first of all, I have never hiked before in my life before this trip. Nonetheless, a 10-mile, 5-hour hike all in one day. So I didn't know what to expect at all. So we had asked a friend who went the year before on some tips and tricks, and this is basically what he told us. Hike at sunrise so that you can beat the sun. You don't have to hike directly under the hottest time of the day, and hike out at the same time at around sunrise. And just work out a lot, go on some mini hikes before to prepare, because this is going to be a very rigorous and strenuous hike. You're gonna have to watch your step, go downhill, go uphill, and everything like that. Another background story, since I never hiked before, I didn't know what to expect, so I started doing a lot of Stairmasters, a lot of cardio and running at the gym to prepare for this, because I didn't necessarily have time to go on mini hikes, and we don't really have anywhere in Texas except for Austin maybe that you can do hikes in. And also, we were told that it was going to be really hard to get some camp reservations. They opened up on February 1st at, I believe, 8 a.m. Arizona time this year, and I do believe it's going to be similar next year as well. The only difference from the year before that I was told is that this year it had to be a 4-day and 3-night reservations. There were no variations to that. Before, you could do like 2 nights in one day, or like 3 nights in one day, or something like that. And also, there are no day hikes whatsoever. It's just not possible. I mean, 10 miles, 5 hours, by the time you get there, it's time to head back, right? So for the reservations, how did we get reservations? So they opened up on February 1st of this year at 8 a.m. I believe, 8 a.m. Arizona time. So me and my friends, our whole group, were on standby at that time, and we were on a website, logged in, our credit card information was already in the system, ready to go. And it still was very, very difficult. The site had kept crashing and it would kick you out. You had to log back in, go back to the website, do everything over. So when I finally was able to get in, I chose the date. I chose whatever date we could within the time frame that my group had set, how many people, and then it would crash. I did that over and over again for about 2 hours, and finally I was able to get to the pay screen for a 3-people reservation. I clicked pay and it crashed on me, and so I had to try again, and this time I just tried, I believe, 4 people or 2 people. I kept trying over and over again with different people in my reservation, different times of the month and everything like that, but it was crashing on me. But I got lucky, because I finally got an email that said, "Congratulations, here's your reservation for Havasupai Falls, April of this year." So I was so happy and so thankful. Good story coming up is that they actually double charged me. They were having trouble on their website, so they charged me for the 2 people reservation that I had and then the 3 people reservation that I had. The only confirmation email that I had gotten was for the 3 people reservation, and they later posted it on their Facebook that if you did not receive a confirmation email, you were not expected there and you cannot go, basically. So it's very lucky, and my friend group was very lucky to get our reservation for this year. Okay, so now that you have reservations, what do you do? As a first-time hiker, we started to do a lot of research on, what to expect when camping, what we needed to buy, and all of that good stuff. And there is going to be a packing portion to this video, so you can jump on ahead to that if you'd like. But for me, I was very scared because I had never gone hiking. I did not know what to expect. I didn't know if there was going to be bears or scorpions or anything like that was going to attack us at that night. So I just went ahead and did a lot of research. There are a lot of blogs that I found that talked about it, about the different weather to expect, what clothes to bring, and all that good stuff. I'll go ahead and link below my 2 favorite blogs that I found that I got most of my information from. So for us, since we were not using the meal service, we decided to pack a little lighter. So I had actually done a lot of research into what backpack I should purchase and use, and I decided to purchase this Kelty one. I'll insert a picture here. It is a 60-liter backpack with an internal frame, and I was able to fit a lot of things into it. As for a second backpack for my boyfriend, we were able to borrow a Deuter backpack from a friend of ours. It is a 40-liter backpack, but you can add on 10 liters, I believe, so that it can fit more stuff. So, of course, we had the essentials. You have to pack a tent or hammock, whatever you choose, but I do recommend a tent because there are a lot of caterpillars that crawl around, just an FYI. A sleeping pad so that you are not sleeping directly on the rigid floor or rocks, I would like to say. Your sleeping bag to keep you warm at night because it does get very cold. Clothes, I just packed a lot of workout clothes like the dry fit shirts and tanks, 2 pairs of shorts, and then actually 1 pair of leggings to hike in and out of the Havasupai, hiking boots and water shoes, and then an emergency medical kit, as well as maybe some beauty products like lotion, Q-tips, face wipes and things like that, and then body shower wipes. Those are very important because there are no showers there. They do have a bathroom, I believe every 0.2 miles of the campgrounds, which is 1 mile long in total, but they do not have showers there. It's just a toilet. So if you wanted to shower, what we did was we did go to the stream by our camp, and I had the biodegradable soap, camp suds, that we would use to either wash our hands, our feet, or we would use it to shower. And then we also packed a water bag like this. Oops. That goes in your day pack so that you can have water at all times. They do have a spring at the campgrounds, a central area where clean water comes out, and you can use that water to drink, to cook in, anything basically. So we had one of these bags per person to hike in and out with, and also for everyday purposes. And then we also packed shoes, that's very important. I think I said that already. And cash. Make sure you have cash so that you can either tip the meal service if you'd like, or to buy fry bread. They do have food there. It's not, there's not a lot of food options, but they do sell this thing called fry bread right by the campsite, next to where you can see Havasu Falls. So when you see Havasu Falls, it means you're almost at camp. But bring cash for that, and also maybe when you're leaving Havasu and you're going to get gas or anything like that, they might or might not accept cards. I'm not sure. And cameras. If you want to take beautiful pictures or professional pictures, don't forget to pack your cameras. Since we didn't have the meal service or anything, we decided not to bring our cameras. We were just going to use our phones, which I think did a really good job. I'm going to insert some pictures here so you can see, but we did not pack our cameras this time. And now for shoes. I did a lot of research on what shoes I should buy for my first hiking shoes, and I ended up going with these ones from Keen. I bought them from backcountry.com, and they were on sale for like $90 or $100. I'll try to find them and I'll link it below in the description box as well as on my blog post. And then you also want to bring water shoes. I decided to buy these and you also want to pack some lightweight water shoes. I decided to buy these universal water shoes from Astral, and I got them from backcountry.com as well. So these I used as shoes around the campgrounds as well as water shoes because they dry super fast if you get them wet. And then for the rest, make sure you have some good water packs that you can put in your camel bags or just in your day packs. I recommend bringing 2 of these per person, but if you can't, 1 is good enough so that you can have enough water on your hike in and out as well as on your daily uses. And then I also packed some electrolyte tablets so that you can put it in your water to mix it with, and you can drink it on your hikes in or out or even on a daily basis so that you're not completely dehydrated. As for clothing, I only packed 2 full sets of clothing because I was just going to wash it in a river so that I didn't have to pack so much clothes and make my bag a lot heavier. So I bought 2 shirts, 2 dry fit workout shirts, 2 pairs of shorts, and then whatever I was wearing the day of the hike, which was just another workout shirt and then a pair of leggings. For underwear, same thing. I just bought 2 pairs of underwears and 2 sets of bras so that I could just wash it and reuse it the next day. I mean, most of the time you're gonna be in your swimsuit underneath anyways, so you might not even have to bring a lot of underwears or bras. Girls wise, I don't know if you're a guy. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you about our trip and how it went, and then I'm going to go into what we wish we had done differently along with some tips and tricks. So our reservation was for, oh my god, let me see. So our reservations was for April 17th to April 20th, so that's a Wednesday through Saturday. Oh, and if I haven't told you the pricing yet, it's $100 per night for a weekday and then $125 per night for a weekend. So we were there from Wednesday to Saturday. So Tuesday night, we were flying out of our airport after work, so it was about 8 p.m. and we got to Las Vegas around 10:30, and we went straight to get our rental car, and we had a group that we were meeting up with, and they were going to Walmart to buy the fuel, any snack bars, anything like that. So we kind of divided and conquered. So we got a rental car, and then we went to In-N-Out actually to get our last meal before the hike. And we left Las Vegas at around midnight so that we could have enough time to drive to the hilltop, maybe a little time to get lost, and still beat the sun to start hiking. So we actually successfully got to the hilltop at around 4:30. I heard that this is a little bit different, but there's actually a stop about a mile before the parking lot where they stop you and they ask you for your reservation to make sure you have a reservation for there. And then they also ask you if you have any alcohol or drugs or anything like that. So it's basically a security stop. And so we got to the hilltop, we started putting our backpacks on, and one of our friends actually had to drop off her bag for meal service, and we started hiking at around, I want to say 5:30 a.m. And it was beautiful actually. I'll insert some pictures here. You know, it was sunrise and it was absolutely beautiful. It was the light of the dawn, you know. We started hiking and it was great at first until we started to get a little lost. So for first time hikers, I wouldn't recommend going by yourself because there's no signs or anything. There's supposed to be markers to show you that you're going the right way, but we didn't really see any of that. So I wouldn't recommend going by yourself the first time. We had asked a ranger at the parking lot, you know, what way do we go and stuff, and he said, when in doubt, keep right. So that's what we did, but I felt like we kind of went rogue because we went through a lot of these bushes and stuff along the way, and there wasn't like a straight trail. We went through that for about a mile till we finally found a trail that we can get back on. So, you know, what we took away from this is if you think you're lost, follow the horse poop, because that's the route that the mules and the horses take to carry your bags. So if you see horse poop, that means you're going the right way. And so we started hiking and everything, and it took us about a good 5 hours total to, actually 4.5 to 5 hours total to get to the village where you had to check in. This is where you check in with your confirmation email so that they can give you a little tag so that you can stick it on your tent. And they also take down your information and your license plate of the vehicle that you came in so that they don't tow your car or anything. And they also have a little convenience store there too if you wanted to buy snacks or food or anything like that. And then in the village, once you leave the tourist check-in, there is a part where it splits to go to the lodge or to go to the campgrounds. So to go to the campgrounds, you go past the church and you take a left, and then you go for another about 2 miles to the campgrounds. So I gotta say, these last 2 miles were the worst for me. My feet were hurting at this point, and I think it's because my laces were too tight on my hiking boots. I was tired, my back was hurting. So these last 2 miles felt like 5 miles to me. But these last 2 miles were more easy going because they do have signs at this point that point you to the right direction instead of you having to guess go right, go left or anything. And this is also the part where you start seeing the fry bread stands. The only one we saw was on the corner of where you see Havasu Falls over a cliff. And so when you see Havasu Falls, it means that you are almost there to the campgrounds. And hallelujah, it means that you can rest. So when you get to the campground, it's a very big open area. There's a spot where they drop off your bags, pick up or drop off your bags. And then there's a little house where there's a ranger there and a table where people have left their, I guess, things they didn't want to take with them, whether it was jet fuel, tarp, some pans, extra food or anything like that. So you can go ahead and go there if you're needing something, but nothing is guaranteed, of course. And then to the right of that is the big bathroom building. If you see the bathroom, this is the beginning of camp. And then behind the bathroom is the start of the campsite, and the campsite goes for about 1 mile. And then beyond the 1 mile is where you go to Mooney Falls and etc. So we actually decided to set up our camp next to the river. They had kind of told us before that we needed to pick our poison. If you wanted to set up camp by the walls, by the canyon walls, squirrels could come down the walls and steal your food. But if you camped by the river and the stream, there could be mosquitoes and bugs and stuff. So it's just kind of what you preferred. We decided to camp by the stream so that we had easier access to water for the day, to swim in, not to drink. And we picked a spot that was super close to the spring because you need water every day, and it was great. So the first day we were there, we kind of chilled. We didn't really do anything because we were all so tired. All we did was set up camp, you know, unpack everything, and just kind of watch the sunset. There's no signal there. You can't check your email or social media. So it really was a good detox from the world. By 3 o'clock, our friends' bags were finally dropped off by the meals, and they started setting up and everything. And then we just ate dinner and went to sleep. Honestly, that first night, that sleep was the best sleep I had ever gotten because we were all so tired and everything. Now, the weather there, so this was April 17th and April 20th, the weather was perfect for us. During the day, it was about low 70s to mid 70s, but with the sun, it felt like 80. And then at night, it was actually pretty cold. It was about 35 to 40 degrees at night. So it was kind of a bigger difference. So if you were going around this time or plan to go around this time next year, make sure you pack enough clothes, a nice lightweight down jacket for the night and a wind jacket for the day, and make sure you have good thermals to sleep in and everything. So well, technically it's not first day, but the first full day we had there was April 18th, the Thursday, and we decided to do Mooney Falls and Beaver Falls that day. So we went through the campgrounds, past the campgrounds, and this is where we saw the sign where it says descend at your own risk. And I thought it was funny that someone had added no crying at the end. So I'll try to find some clips. I don't think I personally recorded anything during this descent, but I think my friend did. But it was actually pretty scary for all of us. We've never done anything like this, and it was a group effort. So there was 11 of us total, so we were a nice big group, and the people who were, I guess, slower or more scared, like myself, was in the middle. The leaders were in the front, and then the rest of the leaders in the back to cover our butts. And if anyone was trying to rush us, they would be there in the back. Of course, you know, no one was actually rushing anybody there. It was very nice because they knew that you needed to go slow so that you don't fall out of this canyon. But once you got down the final stairs, it was beautiful. Mooney Falls is beautiful. There's actually a little hidden area, and they had a little jump, like a rope where you can hang on and jump over. So I thought that was fun. And in the middle, there's kind of like a little island where they have a picnic table where you can put your stuff there, you can have lunch there and everything. We did chill there for a little bit and then decided to try to go to Beaver Falls. Maybe we didn't find the right trail, but there was a part where you kind of have to descend a wall. It was pretty scary, and none of us really thought that we could do it, so we actually decided to go back to Mooney Falls and just chill there for the day. So that was that for our first day. After Mooney Falls, we kind of just went back to camp, got cleaned up, made dinner, just chilled and talked and everything, and then went to sleep. I swear all of these days I think we all got a good 12 hours sleep because the sun sets around 7:30, and then when it gets dark you can't really do anything or go anywhere, and everybody sleeps around that time too, so you don't necessarily want to be loud to keep your neighbors up, because you don't know if they have to get up early to hike out the next day or anything like that. So Friday, April 19th, was it? Yeah, April 19th, Friday. That day we decided to check out Havasu Falls, which is about, I don't even know how far it is, super close to us. You get out a campsite and then there's signs that says Havasu Falls and you just go down. So Havasupai Falls is a little smaller than Mooney Falls, but it's just equally as beautiful and has, I guess, a bigger area for people to hang out in. So we just decided to chill there for the whole day. I'll try to insert some clips and pictures of our time there. And so this was also the day that we tried the fry bread, since it was super close to Havasupai Falls, and it was super good. It was basically this fried bread that they use as the bottom, and they put refried beans on it, sour cream and tomatoes and such, so it was kind of like a taco or like a pizza. And after Havasupai Falls, we all just decided to go back to camp once again, because we did have to start hiking out the next day. So that night we all decided to just rearrange our bags, packed everything, cleaned up, make sure that we had all of our trash packed and ready to go as well, and just check that we had everything. So me and my boyfriend and a friend of ours, we decided to hike out a little bit earlier than the rest of the group on Saturday morning, because we were carrying our backpacks and we knew that we would be a little slower. So we actually woke up at around 3 a.m. or 3:30. It was around 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. and we just packed up the rest of our stuff, which was the tent, our sleeping bag and sleeping pad, and any remaining little things like your toothbrush and stuff. And we ate our final breakfast there, and we started hiking out at, I want to say 5:30 a.m. So same thing as the day that we came. So the hike back, oh my god, it was the worst thing ever. So for first, I want to say like 7 to 8 miles, it was okay. But once you got to the part where it starts going uphill slowly, that's when you really feel it. Because when you come downhill, when you're first getting into the canyon, you don't really feel it because you're excited, you have energy. But this was our last day. We were super tired. We had these big bags on our back, and I almost died. There's this last part where it starts going uphill and it goes around and around and around all the way to the hilltop. This was the worst part because it started getting really steep going up, and having these big bags on our backs was, oh my god, it was so bad. I wanted to cry. I think I almost cried when I finally saw the hilltop, because I couldn't believe that I made it. I couldn't believe that I actually hiked like 20 miles round trip. I've never even walked that far altogether. So it was a very big accomplishment for me. And from there, I think our hike out was about 5.5 to 6 hours, because it was more difficult. And from there we packed our stuff into our car and we drove out, and that was our trip. So now for some tips and tricks for any new hikers. First of all, if you've never hiked before and this is your first Havasu trip, I wouldn't recommend doing it by yourself. Maybe go on a Facebook group of the month that you're going and just kind of put it out there. You know, you may want to hike with a group going in the same days that you're going, because there are chances that you can go the wrong way and then get lost. So it's just my opinion, and I don't recommend doing it by yourself. And as for the timings of your hikes, so since we were coming from Las Vegas, you might be coming from somewhere else, but I do recommend going in wise, I do recommend leaving Vegas at around midnight to 1 a.m. just so you can make that 4-hour drive and get to the hilltop before the bag drop-off time, and you can beat the sun when you hike, because it does get super hot. I don't know about summertime because I think that's going to be even hotter, but even in April it's like mid 70s during the day. It still felt like a good 80 degrees to 85 degrees with the sun beating down on us. So you really want to be able to beat the sun for majority of the hike. And same thing for your hike out. Make sure you have all of your things packed. You bring some extra trash bags to pack your trash out, because this is a leave no trace behind kind of camp, and that you start hiking at around sunrise or before sunrise if you can. We had some headlamps that we bought so that we can put on top so that we can hike in the dark, but we still didn't really feel comfortable to hike in the dark just because we weren't familiar with the place and we didn't want to have any chances to get lost. So I think 5:30 a.m. is a good time because there is a sliver of light coming from the sunrise. You can start seeing things, and then by the time you get to the difficult part, which is that uphill part, the sun will be not completely up yet, but it will be up enough for you to have some sunlight. Okay, so now for some tips on packing. I will insert some clips that I have of us packing our things, but I just recommend packing super light. And if you're gonna pack or buy things, make sure it is super lightweight as well. There are some luxury options of sleeping pads or memory foam and all that stuff, but you don't really need that, especially if you're going to put in your bag and you're going to carry your bag. My bag alone ended up to be about 17 to 18 pounds, and then my boyfriend's bag ended up being about 22 to 23 pounds. So that's a good amount of weight on your back. So make sure everything is lightweight. You know, our tent, when packed away, it weighed about 3 pounds. Our little lawn chair that we bought, it was about 1 pound. And then basically everything else we bought was below 1 pound. The heaviest thing was the tent and our sleeping bags. So what we wish we would have done differently. If we were to go again, I think we would really go with the meal service. I'm just really iffy about it because there are rumors, there's even an Instagram page dedicated to these rumors about them mistreating the animals. So I was really iffy about that, and I don't know. I think if you were to think about this, do your own research, use your own personal judgment, and just kind of decide on there. But if I were to go again, I really think I would want to use some kind of service like that, or even try to get lodging just to have a different kind of experience, because carrying the bag on a hike in and out was the worst experience of this. I mean, nothing really was a bad experience because it was absolutely beautiful. But the worst part of the whole trip was these things. And then I think we also wish that we bought different options of food. We kind of just bought the same thing, you know, 1 breakfast, 1 lunch, and 1 dinner. But if we had more variations, I think it would have been more enjoyable. And then I also kind of wish I bought my camera, because there were so many beautiful opportunities to take beautiful pictures and everything, but of course bringing a professional camera or a DSLR is just going to be really heavy, and it's going to be a decision you have to make whether you're carrying your backpacks or not, because it's going to put a lot of weight into your stuff. And then also, I really wish I bought some extra battery packs to charge my phone, or whatever you need to charge, because there's really nowhere that you can charge your electronics. I did have a solar panel charger, but solar panels kind of charge really slow, so even when they were under the direct sunlight for the entire day, it wouldn't really charge my electronics enough. So I think next time I would just bring an extra battery pack. Alright, so that's it for this video. If you want to check out my full review of my trip, including links to the items that I bought, like the shoes or the backpack, tent, and things like that, please check out my blog post. I'm going to link it here below. And thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!